Alright everyone, Occult Literature video number 118, Weeds Used as Medicine, another interesting herbal, early 20th century, well written. It was actually a government bulletin related to some of the anti-weed land improvement laws of the era when they were trying to eradicate certain pestilent and noxious species, including catnip, oddly enough. From the land, made farmers pull these crops out and figured, well, they can get a few pennies per pound maybe for this material. We'll teach them about these species, kind of what they're used for and how to identify them. As always, a link in the description to my edition of this work on Amazon, a second link to my books blog. There are other herbals there if you're interested in that sort of material, as well as alchemical works, grimoires. It's a little bit of everything. However, there's also a link to the illustrator's Instagram page, Rita Metzner. Some time ago, I said for this herbal as well as valuable herbal prescriptions forthcoming probably tomorrow. Now, I need somebody else to illustrate these because even though I'm capable of doing herbal illustrations, it takes me a lot longer to draw things up, scan them, and edit them. It takes me a lot longer than it's going to take somebody with more artistic skills. So I had people send me in samples of their work. I chose Miss Metzer to be the illustrator of these two. Of course, that means in the future I may be working with her again along similar lines because there are a great many grimoires that I've actually held off completing primarily because of images. Cover art, that's easier to format. All these internal images, trying to get them done, it's a little bit hit or miss for me because sometimes my scanner doesn't even want to work, so I just have somebody else do it. I'm very pleased with the result, and also on the Tarl Warwick Books blog, the third link in the description, you can see one of the recent posts. It shows several of the illustrations from these herbals, again, links to her Instagram page, where she's made some fantastical and, dare I say, slightly occult works as well. Now, I don't really know how to navigate Instagram, so you're probably, if you use it, you're probably getting more out of the experience than me. I'm kind of clueless when it comes to that or some of these other newer sites. This particular work is a government bulletin. 58 pages in length, very richly illustrated. Every single species has at least one illustration. There are also some illustrations for some of the crops where the root is primarily the commodity that would be sold, so it has an extra illustration of that. And it goes through and describes the plants, their range, their habitat, of course illustrates them, shows you what they look like, and then at the same time sort of what their general medicinal purpose was about 100 years ago. Some of this material is dated. Obviously, catnip is no longer used generally in a medicinal context. People still drink it as a tea, and it's considered harmless for that. Now, mostly, though, we know catnip is you give it to cats, makes them act weird. Pokeweed, couch grass, some of these other species, they were considered to be noxious weeds, but because they were active in some way, a datura is actually listed here, or a datura, depending on how you choose to pronounce it. A Jimson weed, the devil's apple, thorn apple, whatever name you'd like to give it. Some of these species listed here, like poison hemlock and datura, are probably not safe for human consumption. Others, like catnip and some of these others, they're still used in a homeopathic sort of alternative medicine context, generally considered safe. And of course, some of these plants are still grown as ornamentals as well, including catnip. It's planted mainly, either you want cats in your garden or you want bumblebees. I've noticed that both tend to frequent the catnip regions of my own land. So it's an interesting work. As far as trying to determine some of the more common species that are likely to be around you in a fallow region or like a marginal zone, you know, the side of a road, an old lot that's kind of gone to seed or something like that. A lot of these species in various parts of the United States are quite common. Of course, datura grows wild all over the central United States. You've got these other species, catnip. Occasionally you'll see it around here, mostly though just in gardens. Perhaps a testament in a few cases to the success of actually teaching farmers, yeah, indeed, you can make a little bit of money for your effort. I mean, you have to pull these things out anyway by law. You might as well store this material, dry it, or however process it, and then you can sell it. You can actually make quite a bit of money. Some of it in that time period was more consumed in Europe than it was actually in the United States. So for some of these species, it's actually listed there within this bulletin. So it's a very good work, and it's properly illustrated because obviously someone with many more skills than myself is the illustrator. So I'm pleased with the end result. I think you will be as well if you're into the herbal material. So again, link in the description to the illustrators page, to my edition of this work on Amazon, and also to my books blog. There's a write-up on the illustrator there as well in brief. That's about all. Peace out.